He's the
Hey,
CEO of the company. How can he just vanish from the screen like that? When he came back, he told me, Ki Khanna Saab, I am in this company in ITC for last 25 years. And as the CEO, I'm working here and company can work without me.
yes,
If you are under this मुगालता, ये कंफ्यूजन है आपको कि आपके बिना कंपनी नहीं चलेगी तो ऐसा नहीं
ये स्टेज पे ही हुए हैं।
कंपनी में आप
Welcome everyone to another episode of Dialogue with Darwin, where we engage with industry leaders to gain insights into the future, into challenges and opportunities ahead of us, and how we can embrace these together to build a better future. It's an initiative aimed at bringing forth thought provoking conversations that will actively shape the future of work. We've had the privilege of hosting several leaders from brands such as Reliance Capital, Infosys, BigBasket, Ernst& Young, and more. And the topics range from a wide variety, all the way from HR technology and leadership to culture building and employee well-being that ultimately leads to the integration of purpose and harmony in the workplace, leading to work-life harmony. So, without further ado, I'm very excited to introduce our guest for today. It's an absolute honor and privilege to welcome Dr. Sanjeevv Khanna, Chief Operating Officer at Patanjali Ruchi-Soya Group. With over 3 decades of leadership experience, Dr. Khanna has held key roles at renowned organizations like Honda Cars, Samsung Electronics, ITC, Metro Cash and Carry, and BigBasket. He is also the founder of the Academy for Self Maximization and India's first IKIGAI coach. Good morning, Dr. Khanna. Welcome to Darwinbox, and thank you again for your time today.
very good morning, Rahul, and thank you very much for having me here. Looking forward for an interesting and exciting interaction.
Same here, same here. So, Dr. Khanna, before we jump into more around leadership, technology, organizations, I wanted to start out on a lighter note and take this opportunity to learn a bit more about you and your career journey so far.
Okay, so briefly, you have already shared. I had started off with Honda Cars. That was my first assignment. One thing which is worth mentioning here that I had decided right in the beginning of my career when I was doing my management that if I leave an organization, I will leave that industry. If there is anything to learn, contribute, and grow, I would continue with the same organization because, as you can see, whether it is Honda, Samsung, ITC, Metro Cash and Carry, or Big Basket, or Patanjali, each one of them had their own growth trajectory, and they all are great organizations in their own right, world over. So there was no reason for me to leave a Honda and join a competition in automobile industry. So as long as I felt that there is something more for me to learn, contribute in the automobile industry, I continued with Honda. When I left Honda, I decided I will move to a different industry. And that is moving out of your comfort zone basically.
Yeah.
Because normally people get tagged to be an automobile guy, an FMCG guy, electronics guy. But that was one very clear, well thought decision that if I leave an organization, I will leave that industry.
Wow.
So from there, I moved to Samsung Electronics. And when they were setting up their operations in India, fortunately for me, I believe that I'm extremely lucky that all these 6 organizations that I worked with, I joined them in the project phase when they were setting up their businesses,
Yeah.
or they were in very initial stage of the businesses.
Sure.
So that was the stage where there was a lot of opportunity to learn and contribute. Because when you join a project phase organization, then you need to answer some very basic questions like what kind of size of the team I need to have, how to do this activity, what kind of network we want to have. So you answer those basics. So in each of these organization, all the 6, I joined in the project phase, and those were also all together different industry verticals.
Nice.
So automobile, electronics, then fashion, lifestyle, then of course it was wholesale, retail, e-com. So different industry verticals. So the learning goes on. And that's what I very firmly believe is the crux of the excitement in life and in the professional life for your success also.
Great, great. I love the fact that you mentioned about that when you left the company, you left the industry, and you stayed on as long as you felt that there is some more learning left there for you. So I think that's definitely a great philosophy to live by, and definitely something that I can personally take, because I think if I now I'm comparing and thinking about my journey, I've pretty much been in the similar tech space. So maybe I think perhaps sometime around my next move, I need to think about changing the industry as well.
Right. But it is also stepping out of your comfort zone. So
Yes.
every time you have to pay that price.
Yep.
Moving out, getting into a new trajectory, a new territory, and you just don't know how things are going to work out here.
Yep.
But if once you start understanding it, then you are that much more enriched
Yes.
person in the organization.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. So just a little bit of follow up on that, right? Just transitioning into leadership, right? And culture building. So as we were discussing, I think you've had several leadership positions across some, the largest industries, not just like across India, but across the world. So can you share some pivotal moments from your leadership journey that have significantly shaped your approach to how you lead and build organizations?
Sure. Couple of things that come on top of my mind. First was in the first job itself with the Honda cars. As I shared that it was in the project phase, so obviously there was no production. The
Yeah.
cars were not rolled out. Even the plant was not set up. It was
Wow.
a project team sitting in a office, and we were just discussing, exploring, understanding the market. And I was, of course, a fresher
Yeah.
from the university. So I was assigned that since you have to take care of the supply chain domain, you start studying that how automobile industry works, how the logistics of the supply chain function works in
Sure.
automobile industry. And I started doing it. I did my own study for 3, 4 months, 5 months, but no one asked me anything
Sure.
because in any case, they knew that there is not much to do at this point of time.
Yeah.
So whatever he is doing is good for his own learning at
Yeah.
least,
Yeah.
which will be helpful for the organization maybe in the later years.
Sure.
Now, before the launch of the cars, two senior most people from the Honda supply chain, Japan, they came to India
Mhm.
finally to understand and set up the logistic and supply chain function. And I was supposed to escort them, be
Mhm.
with them, learn with them,
Sure.
and do our studies. So I had to, first project that was given was that we had to decide how many transporters do we need
Mhm.
and who those transporters will be. So we met almost 70, 80 transporters across the country.
No.
But one thing which was very clearly decided at that point of time that they will do their own study and I will do my own study. And then they will see whether, somewhere I'm close to that understanding because they were veterans in the industry. And only with the Honda, they
Yeah.
had worked only for Honda for last almost 30, 35 years of
Sure.
their career. They were almost at the verge of retirement. They were at the director
Mhm.
level. And I was a management trainee practically.
Wow.
So, and of course, there was one interpreter, the Japanese interpreter, who was with us because at that point of time, Google was not there to help us with the
Sure.
translations. So
Yep.
we had one interpreter, and we started doing our study. And it was almost a 1 month or 1.5 months to study the country across. And we visited various transporters, interviewed most of them. We visited their facilities to assess their capabilities and all that, whatever exercise we were to do. Now, when we came back and we were supposed to make the presentation, so I was asked to make the presentation first because they knew that there will be less content, less meaning. So, and it will be a smaller study. So, let's understand from him. And then they will give the real picture, what we
Yeah.
have to do and how we have to do. Strangely, I recommended that we should have 20 transporters.
Okay.
And they also recommended we should have 20 transporters.
20 transfers.
I said, out of those 80, these should be the 20. Incidentally, the 20 of mine were matching with their 20.
They're 20.
Number one was their number one, number two was their number two, number three was their number three. So 1 to 20, it was total alignment.
Match. Yeah.
Now, when that happened, they thought, कुछ तो नकल करी है कहीं से कॉपी से तो उन्होंने बोला with the interpreter they started asking कि have you shared anything with him?
Yeah. Yeah.
She said no.
No.
And there was no such interaction and no need. He never asked for anything. And that was an eye opener for them as well as for me
Yeah.
as a professional, that after 35 years of having worked with Honda cars in Japan, when they studied something, and after coming out of my university, doing my management, and in 6 months, I was able to exactly do the same study, similar study.
Yeah. Yeah.
That gave me a lot of confidence. What it told me, or what it taught me, was that if you are focused on your work area and you are doing it in an impartial manner, in a fair manner, then there is a divine intervention and the divine connect that guides you towards the right thing. And that was one of my very, I would say, transformatory learning,
Sure.
which lived with me till date. And I still go with that understanding and with that belief. So that was one very critical learning. The second learning that comes to my mind is in ITC when I was working. Uh, Having worked with Honda and Samsung earlier, both these companies, the Japanese people and the Korean people, they are extremely workaholic.
Yes.
So I also got into that culture right from the beginning. When I came to ITC Limited, uh, I found that my boss every quarter he takes 5 day off, which becomes 9 day off because it was a 5 day week.
Friday weekend. Yes.
15 days off, and he will just vanish. And vanish means you cannot connect with him over phone, over mail, or anything.
Sure.
And I thought, how can he do that? He's the CEO of the business.
Yeah.
I'm just one of the functional head, a supply chain head, but he's the
Hey.
CEO of the company. How can he just vanish from the screen like that? But when he came back, he told me, Ki Khanna Saab, I am in this company in ITC for last 25 years. And as the CEO, I'm working here, and company can't work without me.
Yes.
If you are under this मुगालता, ये कंफ्यूजन है आपको कि आपके बिना कंपनी नहीं चलेगी, तो ऐसा नहीं
Yeah.
है,
You stay
ऐसा
safe. Yeah.
कंपनी में आपसे पहले भी चल रही थी, आपके बाद में भी चलेगी. But your family, if it is
Yes.
deprived of this time, the family time with you,
Yeah.
this time will never come back. No one will be able to compensate for that. And you won't believe that thrice I took off officially, I took
Okay.
leave. He granted it in a minute. But after that, he found next day again I'm sitting in the office, and he asked me, "Ki, what happened? You were supposed to go on leave," and I have to tell him, कि नहीं थोड़ा सा काम आ गया था, तो अब मैंने next week plan करता हूँ. But finally, when I took off and I took my family out for a vacation, I realized that somewhere I was forgetting the purpose of life. I was not able to see what for I am working. There is
Yes.
a very good saying in English that you should not be so busy in making a living that you stop living.
Stop. Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I realized the happiness that my family, my wife, my kids had at that point of time in the first vacation that I had taken in maybe 7, 8 years. So they were so happy. And then I realized that this is the purpose of my life.
This is a purpose.
And along with that, I recalled one learning lesson of Honda philosophy, the Japanese philosophy, which says that in the morning when I leave my house, I come out to do a job for which I am being paid. That I will do ruthlessly.
Yeah.
Along with that, if I can make some friends, that's my personal gain for life. I will
Yes.
positively try for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So then I thought, ki, yes, when I work, I have to give my 100% to it. But at the same time, I should never forget that I am working because there is a family I have to take care of, and a life that I have to live. So I have to take care of myself, I have to take care of my family, and then I have to be successful in the corporate world, for which I will work very hard.
Yes.
So I think, those were the learnings which formed the whole perspective for years to come, and for last now 35 years that I am in the corporate world with all these great organizations. I think I had been able to implement those learnings, and I lived with that value system. And that probably went a long way to add value to my contribution to the organizations.
Yeah. 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 No, that's lovely, Dr. Sanjeev. In fact, I think definitely our audience would take away a lot from this, but I feel honestly, personally, I'm taking away a lot already based on the couple of examples that you gave. And starting with the first one, where there was, as you said, there was such a wide experience gap. You are entering the workforce, and the Honda folks are about to exit the workforce, but still your and their results, thought processes were almost the same. And as you were saying, right, you kept on doing your work even under the starting 2, 3, 4 months, regardless of, how or what immediately it might be needed, but somewhere down the line it showed in your work, right? So I think that was great. I can also relate to the second piece that you mentioned is, sometimes we work so much that we forget why we are working so much, right? And we forget to enjoy some of those things. So thanks for sharing that. Just want to transition a little bit on one of the things you mentioned, right? On, like, when you leave, you're working towards the company, towards building the business and growing there. Transitioning into that values and work ethics piece a little bit now. So, as you said, right, you've worked with, ITC to, Samsung to, Honda, and building, these high performance oriented teams where I'm sure, like, the performance doesn't come in without processes, right? Could you share some things for our audience where you implemented some sort of a operational change or a process change that was very successful, and perhaps what was the challenges and how did you maybe go ahead and address them to see, that, this was a successful change that you brought in?
To be honest, without sounding pompous, in 35 years of my career, I would have got at least 14, 15 promotions to be where I am today.
Yes, absolutely.
From the management trainee to, assistant officer to officer to uh, assistant manager, again to
Yeah,
manager, senior manager, and all that. So when you grow that way, one thing is for sure that you have been contributing to the organization, then only
then exactly.
in a sustainable manner, then
Yes,
only you get the growth and recognition. So basically what happens that everywhere that means that there would have been some process improvement, because I very firmly believe that it's only two pillars. I mean, throughout my career, I have believed in that. There are two pillars that you have to focus upon: people and process.
sure.
If you have the right people, they will bring the right processes. If you have the right processes, it will help you to get the right people.
Nice.
So people flourish when and perform well. They feel excited, they feel passionate when the right environment is given.
Yeah.
The right environment, of course, one is the human behavior part of it, and the second is the process part of it. Now, to give you an example, how small things change. Actually, again, something very important here to mention is that we always look forward to do something very fantastic, something very brilliant, out of the box. Yes, we
Yeah.
have to do, but you don't have to think that you have to think out of the box.
Sure.
Okay, you only have to look for the solution.
Yeah.
If you are able to offer the solution, you will find that it was out of the box
Out of the
later. People
box.
will
Yes.
realize that some of
Yeah.
those things that you have done are out of box. But you are
Absolutely.
thinking that I have to think,
Think out of
because
the box.
that doesn't take you anywhere.
Yes.
So I remember when I joined ITC Limited, again, we were in the project where we had just started with one store at that point of time, Will's Lifestyle. And of course, Madura Garment and Arvind News, they were the market leaders. And like them, we followed the suit, and we started taking one of the logistics service provider for our complete distribution and reverse logistic also. Now, reverse logistic in the fashion industry is extremely critical, because every day there are broken sizes. That means, you may not have the large, small, medium,
Sure. Sure.
uh, all sizes available. You may not have all the colors available.
Yeah.
So if
You
you don't have one complete set of sizes and colors, most of the good brands will not deploy it on the shelf. They
exactly.
will remove it.
Yeah.
So the reverse logistic is also extremely important.
Critical. Yeah.
Now, when we were doing it, we were using a particular methodology or a particular pattern for distribution and collection of the garments back in the evening. And one piece of the shirt or the trouser or top or the bottom, it used to cost us logistically at that point of time, if I remember correctly, around maybe 5 rupees a
Okay.
piece.
Yeah.
So 5 rupees to deliver, 5 rupees to collect back.
Sure.
We did it for about 6 months or 7, 8 months, and then I just thought that it's too much of a cost. I mean, if I have to do it personally, how will I do?
Yeah.
I will go collect the item, and if I have to return, I will go and deliver the item. And by that, my cost can't come 10 rupees, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So what I did, I hired a eco vehicle,
Mhm. Yes.
Ruchi Eco.
Yeah. 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 I know.
And from that vehicle, I started delivering. It used to be a milk run kind of a thing. It used to go to different store and deliver. And the same vehicle, after delivering to the last store, it used to pick up the material and come back to the first store and bring it back.
Wow.
My cost came from 5 rupees to 50 paisa.
Oh,
Almost.
wow.
Now, the moment we did it, even our service partner did not realize it for 2, 3 months. When suddenly they felt our billing to
Billing going down.
is dropped down. So they came and tried to understand what we are doing and where this business is going, maybe to competition.
Yeah.
And we told them, no, there is no competition. You are the only service provider.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we told them that this is one exercise that we have started 2, 3 months back. And I still remember my because he was the executive director of his company, logistic company, and he is a very good friend of mine till date.
Sure.
Now they are family friends. So he said कि खन्ना साहब आपके साथ दोस्ती तो हमेशा रखेंगे, काम दोबारा कभी नहीं करेंगे। क्योंकि ये तो मतलब आपने आज शुरू करा है कि अब देखना कि थोड़े दिन में it will go to all the competition and they will also start doing it. So you are not making us lose your business. We are losing, or we are going to lose business of the industry.
Industry. Yeah.
That's this.
Yeah.
So I think now it was a very small thing, but it had brought down our cost from 5 rupees to 50 paisa per unit. That means I did what was required for the organization.
Yeah.
At the same time, you become a market leader. But actually, what have you done? You have just used your common sense
Common
and
sense.
you have tried to do something which is impactful for the business. And also, it is satisfying that you are actually setting up a trend in the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is the way in different organizations, different processes would have got implemented. This is just to share one of the example, but basically my one again message here would be you don't have to try hard to think out of the box. You simply have to give solution to your business. Don't think that whatever I had learned in Honda will be helpful for me in Samsung, or whatever I had learned in Honda and Samsung will be helpful in
Yeah.
ITC. I
ITC.
don't have to necessarily pull that concept and push it here. I
Yes.
just have to look my problem and my solution. As long as I'm doing those learnings in any case are with me to help me,
Yes.
guide me.
Yeah.
So that's how I think we all need to offer our services and our solutions to our organizations.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then I like the point that you made, because typically when leaders change organizations, they carry their processes, some of the things that they did in a different industry, and try to do it. At times it works well, but at times it doesn't, because you're bringing in a solution that worked in a different company, different industry. And even if it's the same industry, perhaps they were at a different phase in their journeys. So that solution may or may not fit, right? And yeah, loved the example that let's not break our heads trying to think out of the box. Think about a solution; it will turn out to be out of the box in itself, right? So
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. So now again, I think this one, the next question also, I think leads back to a couple of things you mentioned. I think you gave the example of Honda, where you didn't have Google Translate or technology to help you translate, right? And then you also gave the example of how it was very manual, the process of shipping and getting folks back. So where I'm getting at is this technology piece, right? How technology now, over the last say 5-7 years, have been imbibed into our personal and of course from the business standpoint, right? But you as a leader, and having seen technology evolve, right, from your Honda days to now 30 years later, how do you ensure that we don't bring in too much technology, in the sense that it doesn't compromise the human elements of leadership and also team dynamics?
My way of looking at the business, as I said, and that learning had come very early in my life and career, that you really, as I said, out of box thinking, the same way here, you don't have to bring technology only because you have seen it or you have come to know about it, right? So obviously, when we travel abroad, incidentally, I had been in those kind of multinational where traveling abroad had been part of life. But when you travel abroad, you see lot many things which are very automated, robotic, and very high tech. But not necessarily everything is relevant for us, and everything may not be needed. What we have to again do is to look at my business, my requirement, and then see whether I really need to do it. For example, I always wonder and I always keep discussing about this part. Today we have that 10-minute 20-minute delivery concept. It's a mad race. And I fail to understand that you can need a medicine in 7 minutes or 10 minutes. It's understandable. But if you need edible oil in 10 minutes, are you going to drink it? Are you
Sure.
going to take it intravenous?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are we getting into that? At the end of the day, we are putting risk of life of that
Sure.
rider.
Yeah.
We are building a cost. For example, think of Amazons and Flipkarts of the world. If you deliver 4 shoes, I keep one, and you take back 3. So basically, at for the sale of one, you have incurred the logistic cost of 8 units,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Or one is sold, so you take the cost of 7 units extra.
7 units. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
will you be profitable? Never, ever.
Never.
Never, ever. It's just that you are getting into the number game. You
Yes.
are that one up
Well.
in the business. Now, to some extent, to at times, even that can be a business requirement. At times, even that can be a business need. But somewhere we need to understand that that is not the business. So we must do what is relevant, what is
Yeah.
really helpful. For example, today we also use AI. We also use prescriptive analysis, predictive analysis, and that's how we take business decision because it helps saving a lot of time. But we are one organization. I mean, I'm giving you example of Patanjali where I'm currently working. That even during COVID times, not even one person was asked to go.
Oh wow.
Not even for one person, salary was reduced. Even 1 rupee salary was not reduced. Even for one day, our production was not stopped. Even for one day, our deliveries were not stopped, even during those 2.5 years. Now, that means what? That is adapting to the environment.
Yes.
That is being aligned with the market, but being conscious about our social responsibilities, being conscious about our employees, because at that point of time, we had taken care of them till date and forever. I'm pretty sure our employees will take care of our business, right?
Yes.
So it is in the times, the testing times, that you need to ensure that you stand by the people. We are bringing technology, but what is happening? The technology actually is not taking away jobs. Technology is only changing the jobs.
Yeah.
So till yesterday, probably I needed a stenotypist to take dictation and
Yeah.
type a letter for me. Today I can do that exercise myself.
Yep.
But when I am doing it myself, then there are a lot many administrative things for which I need some support.
Yes. Yes.
So, you know what happens? The profile changes, people are still needed. And we need to understand that it is not the machine, it is the man behind the machine which is more important.
Yeah.
As long as we are able to understand, I read somewhere very interesting thing that, 100% of our employees are people, 100% of our customer are people,
Yes.
100% of our stakeholders are people. So
People.
if we don't understand people, we don't understand business.
Yes. Absolutely.
Technology is fine to enable each one of us to be more productive. It is to bring more speed, more clarity, more visibility.
Yeah.
These are the key things for the business.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that changes the profile of the people, but that doesn't take away the jobs of people. And
Yes.
I think in India, which is more labor centric, where we have that kind of workforce available. And again, as we all know, that by 2030, we are going to be one of the youngest nation.
Yeah.
We are going to have almost 75% of our workforce, actually globally, not only in India. 75% of the workforce is going to be Gen Z and millennials.
Yeah.
So if you have 75% of that workforce, then obviously they are all tech savvy.
Yeah.
So you won't have to take away technology. Technology is part of them. Maybe our driver or our mates are more familiar with even Apple or any other mobile, and they are able to do everything that you want to do.
Yeah.
So I think technology and the human resources, we need to ensure that we understand it is the man behind the machine which is more important, then bring the technology which actually helps us in bringing more visibility, more transparency, more speed. So it will only be change of the profiles.
Sure.
It won't take away the jobs, and that I think we all owe to the society.
Or to
We have to take care of it.
awesome. Awesome. No, great, great. Thanks. Thanks for that answer. And before I move on to the next question, I think firstly, thank you and congratulations as you were perhaps one of the few leaders and companies that didn't, as you said, let go of any people or reduce their salaries or anything during COVID. So I think that talks a lot towards the ethics and your culture, or the importance of culture in your leadership style. So I think that's great, and I'm sure each and every employee at Patanjali would have also felt to give back now because of the gesture that you and the leadership brought in, right? And a slightly other point that you were talking about, when we need certain things in like 7 minutes or 5 minutes or less. I was writing a piece a few months back, right? Like the same thing, like how much lower can this time get? And I was kind of making a point where somewhere in the future, a Zomato, an Amazon, a Flipkart, Zepto, they will actually be standing outside your house. So the moment you even think about it, they are at your door with all the things that you need. So it's not even 7 minutes. It's like you think and we are there. But also I feel like, as you were saying, it's for us to become more efficient, but at times technology is making us lazy because we are not planning ahead.
True.
We are saying, everything is available in 10 minutes to an hour. I don't need to be planned or better structured, because I think I can get anything at any point in time. So that's a great point, that there needs to be that balance where it's helping us but also helping us be better, not kind of be a little lazy in how we deal, right? I want to maybe transition to something very, very different. You've mentioned that life takes a 360-degree turn when one finds their true purpose. And in your previous answer, what we were also discussing is like there's so much happening. There's technological changes, there is work pressure, there's like things happening in our life. So I feel like today more than ever, it's very, very important for us to not lose focus, not to get distracted, and find meaning and purpose. So can you share a little bit about your personal journey, how you discovered Ikigai, and how that has influenced your lifestyle, your leadership style, and your approach to building culture at these organizations?
Certainly, yes, because that is a topic which is very close to my heart.
Absolutely.
And I wish I would have come across Ikigai maybe 20 years or 30 years back in my life. Uh, because in Ikigai, I have found my Ikigai. Ikigai means the purpose of life, right? In the Japanese philosophy, it means the purpose of life. And it's at that, about say 5-10 years back, that I realized I I was into the general management. As you know, typically it happens in
Yep.
the corporate that you start as a generalist, as a management trainee, then you become a functional
Yeah.
specialist, and once you get into the CXO roles or the CEO or CEO, again you become a journalist.
Yeah.
You are
To oversee everything
across the business world.
across the board. Yeah.
So, what I felt that most of the time I was just thinking that what I do is either I am sharing the requirements or the expectations of the management to the employees, or vice versa.
Why so?
I'm sharing the requirements and the expectations of the employees with the top management, and I'm playing the bridge role.
Yeah.
So, whether it was Big Basket or here for last 14-15 years, that's my role. And that is when I started thinking, if I'm doing this job of playing the bridge, probably my job is more in the domain of coaching and consulting.
Sure.
So
Yes.
why I should not become a professional coach or a professional consultant? And that is when I started exploring coaching. So first I became a coach. I did NLP practitioner program. I
Mm.
did ICF coaching. Subsequently, I bumped into accidentally Ikigai,
Okay.
which is the Japanese philosophy to find your purpose of life. Now, when I was doing that, around that time only, I had also found, shockingly, that 80% people globally are not able to lead a life of purpose. Now, 80% people are not able to lead a life of purpose. That is one fact. And Ikigai is a philosophy which helps you find purpose of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
how critically it is needed. So
Yeah.
I thought that, I'm at that age and stage of my life and career where I must do that.
Yeah.
I owe it to the society. I owe it to the industry. I owe it to the next generation.
Yeah.
that please find your purpose of life. Because
Yeah.
in our times, when I started my career, it is just to get a good organization. But today it is not all about that. Gen Z and millennial, they are extremely conscious. They want the work-life balance.
They
They
want.
want the meaningful jobs where they get their purpose, passion, potential, everything tapped and utilized. And Ikigai is a philosophy which helps you find your
Yes.
purpose, passion, and potential. So three pillars are purpose, passion, potential, and on the other hand, this is what is needed by the world.
Yeah.
So I had no other thought but to get into it. I thought I will set up my own academy.
Nice.
Uh, I will first learn myself and
Sure.
then I will start coaching. But then at that point of time, again, I came across one concept or one fact that there is a IAPCM accreditation, that
Mm.
is International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. It's a world's largest, oldest, and most valued accrediting company
Okay.
for accreditation company for
Sure.
coaching and mentoring business.
Mm.
So I thought I will launch my program only I get that IAPCM accreditation first,
Okay.
because whatever I offer, it should be world class.
Yes.
I should not be just like because I don't know if you are aware that coaching today is the second largest business opportunity after IT industry.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't realize
Is
that.
the second fastest growing industry. Now, what is happening is that everyone has become a self-acclaimed coach.
Coach.
So I thought that in this crowd, to be a face, it is important that first I offer a world-class program. For that, I need to have a IAPCM accreditation. So every
Sure.
well-wisher told me not to go for that.
Mm.
They said they will take away all your happiness. They are very, very tough people to get accreditation,
Sure. Yeah.
and you will lose months in
Yeah.
doing it. But I was determined that without getting IAPCM accreditation, I will not launch my program. I will not launch my academy. So I did it. It took us about 7, 8 months time. So things got delayed by 8 months or maybe a year. But I was happy because
Okay.
the day I launched my programs which are
That's it.
IAPCM accredited. So
Yep.
when you do my program, you also become a globally accredited coach.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I wanted that it's not something, because I knew that even if I coach 10, 20, 50 people in a month or 100 people in a month, it is not going to bring the transformation in 140 crore people in the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
So to do that, I need to train the trainers,
Train the trainers. Yes.
inculcate that culture of learning.
Sure.
And to do that, it is important that your program is a world-class program and then you get into it. So in Ikigai, basically, what we tell people how to find their purpose of life. And today, the beauty is that there are psychometric tests available to enable you to find your purpose, passion, and potential. So you spend
Okay.
10,000 rupees and you realize your, uh,
4% potential.
now you are, say, doing an X job and you wanted a Y job, but your actual passion is in singing maybe.
Mm. Mm.
Whether you will be best suited for singing, whether you will be best suited for an IT job, whether you will be best suited for coaching, you put up that as a question, and that score will tell you where is your passion,
Wow.
where is your purpose, and where is your potential. And if you are not having the potential to do a job that you want to do, so what are the areas of improvement? How do you
Improvement.
train yourself
Get
to
there.
reach there?
Yeah. Yeah.
What more you want? And
Yes.
after that, we spend millions, thousands on food, on marriages, on cars, on
Yeah.
buyouts, but we don't spend that 10,000 rupees on our own
Never.
to realize our own
Yes.
purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the difference of finding that purpose is the difference between an ordinary and extraordinary life.
Yeah.
That is the difference between a Vinod Kambli and Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Nice.
Vinod Kambli had more
Talent.
caliber, as people say, more talent. But then who capitalized more? Tendulkar,
Yeah.
because he was very focused. So we
Yes.
need to realize our purpose first. We
Yes.
just don't have to be there for the heck of it. You
Yeah.
need to be there because that comes from within. We have
Exactly.
our own USP. Each individual has their own USP. You have your own USP. If Amitabh Bachchan tries to be, in cricket ground and
Yeah.
Tendulkar tries his hand in the acting,
They
they
will
will be
never
able to
know.
do it, but they may not be that successful. He may
Yes.
not become, Tendulkar may not become a star of the millennium,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Amitabh may not become
Yeah.
god of cricket. They
Yes.
may play, they may act, but still, because the
Potential.
inner self, the natural given potential is not that. The natural potential is realizing, and that is why they are there. We're there.
Yeah. 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 Awesome. Awesome. No, that was great. That was lovely. And maybe for our listeners and for the audience, where can they find more about your academy, any website or anything?
Yeah, we do have a website with the name www.selfmaximization.com.
Sure.
And even I am one Sanjeev who has double V in the name.
I saw that. You saw that. Yes.
Yeah, so with that double V also, if you type Dr. Sanjeev Khanna, you will be able to
Yes.
come to self-maximization.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. In fact, I think when we were interacting, I noticed that I was in my mind as well to discuss that. But so, Dr. Sajeev, this has been great. I think we're coming towards the end of our time. So, firstly, thank you so much for reminding us about the power of purpose and continuous learning. And your goal, as you said, is to train the trainers that can then scale. So, I think your philosophy of like finding the solution at the root cause, what you did with the logistics piece, now what you're doing with the trainers, I think that's going down a long way. That, hey, let's find the solution and it will automatically be scalable and out of the box. So this was great, very enlightening. And before we end, we do something similar to you might have seen in some shows like Coffee with Karan, like a rapid fire round. We don't have a great hamper, but I'm hoping your responses and these questions will make it equivalent to the fun hamper. Yeah.
Look forward.
So we have a set of 5, 7 questions ready. So if you can quickly answer those. With 2025 coming up, what's something that you are really, really looking forward to?
I'm very seriously working to relaunch Academy for Self Maximization and the IKIGAI programs. I am focused in supporting the various startups and MSMEs in the country
Okay.
because that's a huge population
Sure.
who are struggling to build their businesses. But for last 35, 37 years, having worked with these kind of great organization and added my bit of value in building those businesses,
Rolling those up.
and I'm still on board of couple of startups and MSMEs, and I believe that their challenges are not any different. Their challenges are same what even Honor and Samsung had. The approach is different,
Okay.
and that mindset is different. That means our tagline of Academy for Self Maximization also says, "Better careers, better lives, better planet."
Nice. Very nice.
So that's our focus. That how do we make better careers, which makes better lives, and then
Sure.
it will be a better planet.
Awesome. Nice. What's your favorite book that you believe everyone should read?
Only one. I mean, there are, books are like, it's like family. So you love everyone.
All the books, yeah.
And you cannot say that this one
One is a
is better than
favorite.
that one, because in every book you have huge takeaways. Depends on you that how much you are able to get. And at different times you read the same book and you have a different takeaway.
Yeah.
That's the power of reading. But there is one book, How Do You Measure Your Life?
Okay.
By Clayton, if I remember the author name correctly.
Sure.
हाउ डू यू मेजर योर लाइफ नाउ? हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है कि हम बच्चों को क्या सिखाते हैं, तुम्हें बहुत बड़ा आदमी बनना है
हाँ.
ना? बड़ा आदमी मतलब क्या, साइज में बड़ा, 100 किलो का हो जाए? बड़ा मतलब क्या, 100 करोड़ का हो जाए?
Yeah. Yeah.
बड़ा मतलब क्या? वी हैव टू रादर टेल देम दैट once you grow up, be a happy man, be a happy girl, and spread that happiness all around you.
Yeah.
If you are able to do that, then actually you are a big man.
Yes.
If you are not doing that, then you are just not lived the life. If you have
Yes.
not felt happy, you have not felt contentment, then you are not really, you have not done anything in meaningful in life, because you are not an ATM. You are a man or a woman, and you want to live the life to the fullest. So it is very important. How do you measure your life? I would recommend very strongly everyone to read that book.
And actually that also reminds me like a Steve Jobs quote, right? Your time on this earth is very limited. Don't waste your time living somebody else's life. What somebody else wants it. So I think that's what you also know. So thank you so much, Dr. Khanna, for sharing this incredible insights, wisdom. At least for me, it has been an enlightening session. And I'm hoping it's the same for our audience as well. So thank you for this time today. And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep leading. Thank you so much.